Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about the outlook on Indian markets. Along with that, some bit of interesting investment strategies, themes that we see in the Indian market, and selection of funds based on these. In the last 2 months, Indian equity markets have been extremely volatile. There have been 10 to 12% correction in most of the indices, be it large cap, mid cap or small cap. Today as we talk, in the last 15 days, there has been recovery in most of these indices. There have been several global as well as domestic factors which have led to this volatility. Before we talk about these, it's important to talk about the longer term perspective for Indian equities, because that will give us a more holistic picture. The recent journey of India to becoming the 5th largest economy has been interesting. In the last decade, we've moved from being the 10th largest to 5th largest. And in fact, in the next 5 or 6 years, it will be an even significant one, with we moving to becoming the 3rd largest economy. In this process, almost $1 trillion of GDP will get added to our economy every 1.5 years. The good thing is, this comes at a time as we are getting down our fiscal deficit. In FY25, our fiscal deficit will be lower than 5%, and an even better progress will be made in fiscal 26. If you look at macro indicators such as debt to GDP, India stands out with having relatively better numbers. In fact, India is one of the very few countries to see debt to GDP numbers being constant versus the pre-COVID years. Even if you look at other parameters like currency volatility, INR stands out. The volatility here has been far lower versus all the other currencies, be it in last 1 year, 3 year or 5 year period. In the last decade, several reforms and policies have been at the heart to support various sectors. We've seen amendments to the Bankruptcy and Solvency Act, which has acted as a support for the banking sector. Today, the NPA numbers for PSU and private banks are at one of the lowest in last 12 years. There has been an uptick in the real estate sector. But if you see, it's the introduction of RERA which has made this sector more organized. Similarly, introduction of GST, lowering of taxes for various corporates, introduction of PLI incentives, all these have boosted the manufacturing infrastructure in the country. Some time back, there was this realization when we thought that the way crude and its volatility would hold our economy to ransom, that same thing would be overtaken by electronic imports. The way the import of electronics was rising, especially for mobiles, that was alarming. And I think with the view on that, government took various steps along with introduction of PLI. And what they saw was a dramatic improvement. Not only the manufacturing or assembly of mobile phones for domestic consumption shifted to India, even the export of mobile phones started from India. Today as we speak, supply chain of companies like Apple has shifted. In fact, in FY25, India would account for 25% of global shipment share for iPhones for Apple. Similar development of ecosystem in electronics is happening in defense and other sectors like solar power. When it comes to infrastructure, in the last 10 years, we've seen rapid development, be it in roadways, railways, ports, airports. Going ahead, we are expected to see good investment coming for the power sector, based on healthy demand as well as some deficit on the supply side. Coming over to demographics, India is blessed with one of the best demographics. The average age of an Indian is far lower when it comes to any citizen, be it China, US, Europe. I think that puts India in good stead for consumption. In fact, as a fund house, we are positive on 4 themes for investment. And we see these themes not only for a year, but as multi-year investment themes. The first being consumption. Consumption has actually been an evergreen theme for the Indian economy. Only its forms have evolved. Some decades back, this was led by penetration and consumer staples. A decade back, it shifted to discretionary consumption and some bit of premiumization. And the latest addition to consumption has been the convenience-led consumption. We are positive on companies with robust supply chains and nimble ones in that, who can adapt their distribution models, supply chains to this rapidly evolving scenario. Secondly, we are also positive on the real estate and infra theme that we spoke about. Infra in the form of power investment, defense, railways, etc. The third theme we are positive on is manufacturing. In fact, we believe entire supply chains will get built out in the coming decade, and there will be a development of ecosystem for manufacturing. It would be interesting to scout for several mid and small cap companies which could become part of this manufacturing ecosystem. Last and not the least, we are positive on the theme of financialization of savings. This is not to say that there are no near-term challenges. Obviously, the muted earnings growth that we've seen for the corporates in the latest quarter are a cause of concern. There have been earnings cut after several quarters. Lower GDP numbers for Q2 FY25 have been a cause of concern. Reasons have been weak manufacturing, weak government spend, or some disruptions because of heavy monsoon. Some of these factors will reverse, and we are expecting better numbers in the second half. Talking about flows, in fact, the latest round of volatility was led by heavy FI outflows. The extent of FI outflows that we saw in the month of October alone was $13 billion from secondary market, to be matched only by domestic inflows. Recent US elections and their outcome put a positive outlook on the US economy and led to outflows from emerging markets. And I think India, with relatively higher valuations, saw relatively higher outflows. So what here from now? Yes, market moves in phases. And the way we witnessed high return CAGR in last 1.5 years, about 25% return CAGR, there could be some bit of consolidation happening in the Indian markets. Based on these 3 strategies for selecting funds and building portfolios. In the near term, keeping the volatility in mind or the weak earnings outlook and some focus on asset diversification. These multi-asset allocation funds have 65 to 70% allocation in equities, some bit in gold, silver and debt, and are relatively less volatile versus pure equity funds. From a medium-term perspective, we are positive on funds which can invest in diversified market caps. Large caps offer stability and are today available at relatively better valuations. Mid caps offer relatively higher earnings growth. Small caps offer better scope for alpha generation. So multi-cap funds and large and mid-cap funds with allocation towards small cap sector too could be interesting choices. From long-term perspective, we are positive on the small cap fund. We believe small cap stocks with their large basket available offer good opportunity for selection and alpha generation. Also in times where economy is doing well, small cap stocks can do better. With this, I wish all the investors happy investing.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.